Hello, it's Snez, and welcome to the 8-week Your Best Body Challenge info session. In this session, I'm going to talk you through everything that you need to do to increase your activity levels, get healthier, and make healthier food choices so you can get the best results for yourself over the next 8 weeks. So let's take a look at exactly what the 8-week challenge is. The 8-week challenge is made of 4 components. The first component is about moving more, and that is all in relation to adding resistance training into your week. The second element is also about moving more, and it's about completing 2 cardio sessions each week. Then we're talking about eating better and sticking to the meal plans at least 80% of the time. And the last one is healthier habits. And there are 2 aspects of the healthier habits. We've got the daily habits and then the weekly focus. So let's dive in and have a look at all that you'll be working through over the next 8 weeks. So first up is the exercise, and in particular the resistance training. Now with the resistance training, it is what you will be doing in the studio, so working with weights. If you are doing any other form of exercise outside of the studio, that does involve working your muscles under resistance, whether that be body weight or Pilates, that sort of thing, you can count that as resistance training. Now, we want you to do 3 per week. Now, I know that some of you are doing 1 or 2, or some are doing 3 or more sessions a week, but I definitely want you to think about stimulating your muscles at least 3 times a week. So if you are doing 1 or 2 sessions a week in the studio, I will be adding some videos that my team and I have recorded in the past. There's some at 15, 20 or 30-minute sessions that you can do at home with minimal equipment. Or I want you to think about even doing 5 minutes of some squats, some push-ups, some planks, some tricep dips, just because when we are working our muscles, we are going to stimulate them so that they can get stronger. And when we have stronger muscles and more toned muscles, they're using up more energy, which increases our metabolism. And you will find that even when you do your scan after the 4 weeks, and definitely at the end of the 8 weeks, that you will see an increase in muscle mass. And alongside of that, you will also notice an increase in metabolism. So not only do the resistance training sessions burn lots of calories, as well as not only in the session, but in the recovery up to a day or 2 after, but it also creates a change in your metabolism so that you're burning more calories naturally on a day-to-day basis. So when we increase our calorie burn through exercise and through boosting our what we call our basal metabolic rate, then when we marry that up with improvements in food and reduction of calories, that's where you see the results that you want to see. So 3 times a week, or stimulating our muscles 3 times a week. And the second component is doing your cardio. So with your cardio, it's 2 sessions a week. Anywhere between 15 and 40 minutes. You don't need to find an hour to go for an hour-long walk. It can be as simple as 15 minutes in a lunch break. Just get out there, get the heart rate up with a walk, or if you can do a ride or a swim throughout your day, definitely you can add those types of cardio activity as well. There is a comment there that you can stay later or come earlier, and we invite you to come in and use some of the cardio equipment. So you may want to come in 10 minutes before your session. Always check that there is a session on, otherwise the trainers may not be there if you're getting too early in the studio, but you are definitely welcome to stay at the end of the session as well. Even if another class is starting, we always work around our members, and you can do a combination of 10 to 15 minutes on the bikes and rowers and ski ergs. The next component of the 8-week Your Best Body Challenge is all about healthy habits. The first lot of habits are your daily habits. So this is something that you're going to be trying to achieve on a day-to-day basis. Now, your 8-week Your Best Body Success Manual has all of this information in there. So if you haven't yet read it, make sure that you do. There's lots of quality information in there. First step is we want you to make sure that you are drinking more water. It is super, super important because it does hydrate your body, which means that your body's working better, which means that you have better metabolism, you're thinking better, you have more energy. And when we have more energy, we can make better decisions and we've got more energy to prepare healthier meals rather than doing grab and go options. So also when you are drinking more water, you are feeling fuller in between meals and at meal time. So you will find that you will eat less if you are increasing your water intake. I cannot reiterate, this is something that I am huge on. I drink lots of water throughout the day. And if it's something that you're not currently doing and you do want to see changes in the 8 weeks, this is one change that you must make. Then you're going to eat you're going to eat 3 to 5 meals every 3 to 4 hours. So you may have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you may have the 5, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and then dinner. You may also do a combination of both, and you may do breakfast, then lunch, and afternoon snack, and dinner, which is something I would highly encourage, that we have a little snack in the afternoon when our energy levels do drop and we are looking for something that's high in fat and sugars. So if you've got a nice healthy snack that you can satisfy yourself, then it will also take the edge off your hunger for dinner time, which means that you can eat less at dinner time. Going to invite you to reduce or avoid sugar. I'm talking about all added sugars and sweets and soft drinks and those really highly processed sugars. I'm not talking about fruits or talking about honey or maple syrup or any of those natural sources of sugar. Definitely just talking about added sugars. You're wanting to avoid alcohol as well, eliminate or reduce, it's your choice, sticking to the recommendations that are in the book. Also reducing coffee, but in particular, the guidelines with coffee over the 8-week challenge is that you're using coffee as one of your scheduled meals or snacks. So say, for example, if you are going to have coffee at morning snack time and then you have your yogurt and fruit separate as a separate snack, you're actually doubling up. So remove the yogurt, have your coffee and your fruit and count it as part of your meal. You'll also need to count it as part of breakfast if you are having it at the same time. So you may need to slightly decrease the quantity of your breakfast. Make sure that you're sticking to no more than 2 coffees a day and avoid adding sugar or reduce the amount. The other thing that you want to avoid over the next 8 weeks is fried foods in your preparation at home, and definitely takeaway options as well. Avoiding eating after dinner, we're definitely going to get rid of that habit unless you are doing a late training session. If you do come home and you are hungry, then definitely having a smaller snack, but some sort of a combination of fruit and protein, or nut and fruit, that sort of, or yogurt and berries, something like that. Follow the meal plans as best as possible. I am going to talk to you about personalising the meal plans. Some members will stick to the meal plans and make every single recipe over the next 8 weeks, which is great. Use it as a way to increase the amount of recipes that you have on file that you can access at any given time, or you may take a recipe that is very similar to what you make, it's just a better and healthier version. So you could just swap that to increase the nutrition and the nutrients and the health of your current meals. Then you've got your weekly focus. So with your weekly focus, it's about every week there's going to be a non-negotiable that you will need to stick to for the whole 7 days. So you will find that with your daily habits, some you'll nail every day, some you'll miss, sometimes you'll get right off track because things get in the way. That's no problems. We get back on track as quickly as we can. But with these weekly focus for every week, for the 7 days, you need to make sure that you nail those every single day. So for the first week, it's cutting out any post-dinner snacking. Now, every Monday, you will receive an email with a little bit of extra information on the weekly focus for the week. So I've got them listed here. They are in your book, but getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep for week 2. Week 3 is all about making sure you are hydrating and getting enough water. Week 4 is about adding a serving of protein to each meal. Week 5 is about meal timing, making sure you're eating every 3 to 4 hours, but more importantly, nothing in between. Week 6, we are completely getting rid of sugar. If you haven't done it by then, you're going to. Week 7 is about reducing quantities to experience hunger. There's going to be a huge focus and connection with hunger in week 7. And week 8, we're going to increase the alkalinity of our meals by adding some greens in to at least 3 of your meals each day. Okay, now the next step and the most important step is to take this information and to personalize it. Now, the best way to make changes is to take your current habits, slowly chink away at them, slowly make gradual improvements, and most definitely take your current styles of eating and your current routines and rituals and add to them, move things out of them, but improve on what you currently have in place. Change is challenging. It can be very hard to stick to new changes. So if we align them with our current practices as best as we can and just make gradual changes, you'll be more likely to stick to it. So completely and taking a different style of eating with all new foods and recipes and trying to stick to that and doing a complete overhaul is really, really hard to sustain. So what we want to do instead is take this information and make it your own. So fit it in with your healthy habits into your work life, into your family life, into your preferences, into your cultural preferences around food, and you'll be more likely to stick to it. And also, as I mentioned before, just improve on what you are currently doing. So the way that we're going to do this is to look at a typical healthy day. And I would encourage you to go through the success manual and even listen to this video back, this training back, and have a look at the different areas that I've spoken about already and start to put the the detective glasses on and the detective hat on and start to peer into, okay, what are the things that I'm currently not doing that I should be doing? So you need to take a really good look at your sleep patterns, how much water you're drinking, when you're eating, what you're eating, how much you're moving, how much you're not moving, all of these things, and be able to identify the habits that have brought you where you are today. And if that's somewhere that you're unhappy with, either with your health or your fitness or your body fat, you need to be very clear on what were the practices, the routines, the rituals, and the habits that have put you here today. And so as you're going through the success manual and listening to this training, there will be things that will be standing out and you'll be like, oh, I don't actually do that. That's one that I definitely need to add. So start to take note of some of these things and write them down in your goals and know which ones you need to prioritize, because you may find alcohol's not your thing. So that's not something you need to think about or focus on, because you can kind of tick that off and put it off to the side. So find the areas that you are currently having habits or behaviors that aren't serving you, and let's just change them. So if we look at a typical healthy day, on waking, we want to hydrate. So sleeping is a very dehydrating activity. So we always want to start the day off with 2 cups of water. I have 2 cups of hot water. One contains apple cider vinegar and one's just plain hot water. And oftentimes I add a few more. But for the purpose of the 8-week challenge, let's just start with that. Then you're going to move into breakfast, making sure you're getting the correct combination of food groups. You do have the food lists in the success manual, so have a look if you're unsure of what a protein is or what a good source of carbohydrate is, so you can put these things together. So what you want to do is look at your current meal, your current breakfast. If you're not having it, well, it's time to introduce one. If you are having it and you are missing either a fruit out of it or a veg or a protein or a carbohydrate, then add those things to align with the principles. If you aren't happy that your breakfast is a good choice, then have a look at the recipe packs and pick something that you like and get into that habit of get the ingredients for it, prepare that breakfast, have it ready. Then we're moving into a snack. Snack should be a combination of protein plus fruit or veg. So fruit and yogurt, or if you're going to use your coffee with a piece of fruit, that will work. Or if you are having a slightly later breakfast, you might find that you skip snacks completely and just go straight into lunch. Now, lunch should be protein plus veg plus fat. You can include a carbohydrate for lunch. You will see the note at the bottom. You need to be including a carb for either lunch or dinner. Try to avoid having it for both of those times. So again, looking at your lunch, what are you currently having for lunch? Are you having a rice dish with some curry or a stir fry, or are you having 2 eggs on 2 bits of toast? You may look at that and go, well, I'm getting the protein, I'm not getting the veg, so maybe I can remove one of the bits of toast and put in some tomatoes and mushrooms and spinach, or just a side salad. So you're always looking for how you can improve. Then you're going to the afternoon snack. So that could be dips plus some veggie sticks. Again, fruit and nuts. It could be yogurt. It could be boiled egg. It could be some cheese with some veggie sticks. And what I highly encourage here is a herbal tea. I always have my green tea at this time because, again, it's that time of the day where our metabolism dips. We are feeling a little bit more tired and probably dehydrated at that point during the day. As I say that, I'm going to take a sip of water because talking is a very dehydrating exercise as well. So making sure you're getting your water in that afternoon part of the day. Then heading for dinner, it should be protein, should be plus fat and veg, not fruit, again for dinner. And then making sure you're having another tea or glass of water. That should be about 30 minutes before bed. So even just looking at this, we're getting 2 cups in the morning. We're getting a herbal tea in the afternoon and a glass of water. That's 4 cups of water. If you even stuck to that, that may be an improvement, but you definitely want to get in the 8 glasses or 1 cup per 9 kilo, which you would have seen in the success manual. Some of the other things to think about are make sure that you're eating until 80% full. This is definitely going to be a good guideline and something that you should stick to. It is something that will make you feel very, very different over the 8 weeks, and making sure that you're hungry at each of the meals as well, so that the meal is small enough so you do feel hungry in time for the next meal. Making sure you're drinking enough water is the note at the bottom, as well as ensuring you are getting adequate sleep. Now, if you do have any questions, or you're unsure any of this content, or you'd like a little bit of help in creating some strategies around personalizing this to your lifestyle, feel free to reach out. Anytime over the 8-week challenge, you do have that phone support. It is a lot easier to send me a text and then I'll give you a call back, or just ask your question. And generally speaking, I'll be able to shoot you off a quick answer and give you some guidance on that. But don't ever feel stuck. There's a group of people journeying along the same way. Make sure that you reach out with all of your questions, with all of your concerns, and also with all of your breakthroughs and all of your success stories along the way. If there are specific questions that you have, with your permission, I will share them to the group, because if it's something that you're struggling with, I can guarantee you there will be someone else having the same experience on the challenge as well. So please reach out. This is the 8-week challenge is an opportunity for you to learn and to get some quality education about how to live a healthy lifestyle. Over the 8 weeks, you will receive a lot more information in the weekly emails, so look out for that. But also remembering you do have access to help when you need it, because nothing makes me happier than to see you achieve your goals and your success. And look, I know that these habits work, and combining it with movement, it does work. I've been teaching these same principles for a very, very long time. And only just last week, I had one of my members who came in on the Friday morning and did a scan. We'd done one 4 weeks earlier, and she's been with us for a little while and has been wanting to shift some weight, but hasn't really been committing to the changes that we've been talking about. And she's got a function coming up now, so there's purpose, there's reason. And she, some of the things that she did was make some very basic changes as she got rid of the after dinner snacking. She also reduced to one toast in the morning. She removed coffees out of her day and some other little bits and pieces. But in the 4 weeks, was just under 4 weeks, we've rescanned and she'd lost 1.8 kilos in body fat. And 0.5 kilo to 1 kilo per week is something we're definitely aiming towards. And so anything between 4 to 8 kilos is a realistic goal for you to achieve, and it will happen, and it will only happen if you are going to follow through with the principles and commit to making the changes. And it is going to get challenging, and there will be times where you'll be tempted, and there'll be times where you flat out just don't want to do it and you don't want to choose the healthy choice. But that's where you need to really have that argument with yourself and stay committed and reach out for help, because when you stay committed to these changes, you will see the results, and you will be so grateful that you have stuck to it at the end of the 8 weeks, because ultimately the 8 weeks will pass. And, sit back and reflect on how many lots of 8 weeks you've let go wanting to make the changes and never quite getting to it. So now is your time. You have the resources in your hands. You've got the training. The trainers are there ready to take you through some awesome workouts over the next 8 weeks, and I'm here to support you along the way. So I look forward to seeing you in the studio, and feel free to bail me up and ask your questions if you see me around when you are in your sessions next. Bye for now.